Welcome to this here driving moment from the Sovereign Light radio broadcast brought to you by Anchor FM, made available on 6 other platform distributions. And my name is Reverend Maria Arvanitidis, your hostess with the mostest, straight out of North York, Ontario, Canada. And with us here, our very special guest, right out of London, Ontario, W.T. Hamilton. Wow, isn't this amazing? And today's show is on mindset for success. Born in Lancaster, England, to an English mother and a Jamaican father, Mr. Hamilton moved to Canada in and around about 1974. His diverse background has enabled him to really connect with all types of people. As a business management consultant and entrepreneur, he has gained many years of experience in the corporate world. As an author, mentor, coach, W.T. Hamilton can be found on many public speaking platforms such as Mo Mondays, and with well over 2,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. He motivates by coaching others into a mindset for success using key techniques from the law of attraction and personal development, as well as real life experience. He is the creator of the world's first one-chapter book series. In 2021, W.T. Hamilton won a Book of Excellence award for his book, The Promise, a story about personal success, heart center sales, and making an irresistible offer. He was also awarded winning author of The Harsh Truths. In total, he has written 7 books in the one chapter book series, continuing to share his insight in daring and risky ways, as well as from the previous 6 books in the Your Invisible Power Company, alongside with his mother, Pamela, who was the vice president, and him being the president. This company is designed to help us go beyond suffering and finding the ultimate joy we all have a right to. And so when Pamela and W.T. Hamilton ventured up in 2014, the journey started with the first of Your Invisible Power series to open the door to unlimited wealth. And then along came in 2015, how to create a positive relationship with money, how to say goodbye to the drama, how to remove the mental hurdles and limitations, how to tame your ego and fuel your ambition. And with that said, explores the ways ego plays a role in hindering our ambition and blocking your positive energy. This book will help to tame our ego by empowering ourselves to build the drive needed to fuel ambition and how to bring what we deserve to us. And here with us on Mindset for Success, Mr. W.T. Hamilton can describe to us just how to bring what we deserve to us.
Hey, Reverend Maria, it's great pleasure to be here. Pretty excited to do this today.
So, you are such a success. It's mind-blowing. And this book here, would you be able to expand on how to tame your ego and fuel your ambition? I realize I have this technique that I am able to bring what I deserve to me, and with the power of intention and focus and my feeling on it, which the secret kind of misses out on is how we feel, to boost it. Our emotional energy boosts it, and that's what attracts. But how do we maintain that relationship? I mean, we can have many followers, but then how do we get them to engage with us and form relationships?
So really it's about being your authentic self and not trying to pretend you're perfect. So a lot of times as we start to gain success in law of attraction, we gain success in personal development, we start to kind of put ourselves on this pedestal, and people put us on this pedestal, and then we're afraid to make any kind of mistakes. So our ego start to limit us from really engaging with people because we're afraid to make mistakes. We're afraid to be wrong or to look foolish. When really to be authentic in what you're doing, you don't know everything, and as you gain more information, you're learning more stuff. Once you learn more things, it takes away some of those limiting beliefs that are there to protect you from making mistakes until you learn more things. So by being engaging with people and being honest, hey, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. And even the things that I know now is based on knowledge that I have now. But as I gain more knowledge and grow, some of the I believe right now might change, and that's okay. And when you start to tell people that, they can embrace what you're trying to teach them more, because they understand that you don't have to be perfect and correct all the time. You're allowed to make mistakes and struggle and learn from those. And that's a hard transition to do, because your ego is telling you, oh, you can't do that. Is because you have to be perfect. You have to be the expert all the time. You have to know all the answers all the time. And so to push that part of your ego out of the equation is by allowing yourself to just be human, allowing yourself to have a human experience. And then how do you grow from that? And that's really what I focus on. Is it's okay if you make a mistake, but how do you grow from it? How do you not let it be something that holds you down, but instead something that boosts you up?
Well, how do you enliven people? I know that, for example, uh, my Facebook friends and followers, well, my friends anyway that are in the loop, they're very much real, and most of them I have met. And this is why they're my Facebook friends and not my followers. How do I get them to come to life again and start responding and start like really engaging and being there?
So a lot of things that I do is reaching out through DM, really having that personal contact, and then trying to get people on like a Zoom chat, because when you can look someone in their eye and really engage with them just on a personal level, it makes you more real and personable. And then when you're trying to talk to them about things, about like letting go of your ego and believing in yourself and connecting your feelings and your thoughts together, it resonates more, because it's not just some poster that they're seeing, some inspirational or motivational thing slogan. You're actually able to walk them through and say, hey, this is what I did, and this is the result that I got from doing it this way. So I think you really have to have that personal touch, and you can do that online. It's a little bit more effort to do it online.
And what I've noticed is you've come up with like seven or so newest books that are one chapter books that are like perhaps 50 to 100 pages each chapter, that's actual book. And what it reminds me of is an actual script to a movie. And
Yeah.
that's how many pages actually it is. And how you went about each chapter convinces me that maybe in the future, this could be something potentially for you, that you can create these 100 pages or so chapters into actual movies. Lord knows we have too many documentaries, but I mean, we can get really creative and imaginative and make more movies out there. And I think that's going to be the new thing, because so many people have written books and things, but what you have kind of trailblazed even further. You've pushed the envelope and taken it a little bit further to resembling actually what a movie script would look like. Can you maybe expand on that so we can explore on it some more?
Yeah. So the crazy thing is, like, I'm a real big fan of Quentin Tarantino movies, and I'm a big fan of the Matrix movies, and both of those are a lot of dialogue. And so I wrote my book, those one chapter books, that to really is one chapter, because it's like a scene. It's a scene in the life of is basically they're meeting at coffee shops, or they're meeting at seminars, just a day in the life of. And I use a lot throughout the book to take you on that journey, to teach you what the techniques and the lessons that I want through entertainment through like a movie. So so that up on that is exactly the way I wrote it. In my mind, it's an scene in a movie or of what you would act out if
It
trying to
has a
learn.
lot of potential.
Yeah,
Are you thinking of
a lot of
doing
fun
that?
to write it that way. Not so much, but I just wanted to give that experience that you would have when you watch a movie in the book. So I wanted it just to be different, so it stands out. And because I find that when you tell a story, it's a lot easier to remember lessons and to remember things when you tell it through a story.
And I noticed that you also have some of your books in audio format. Which ones are they? Because it kind of, it didn't really show me that. It was showing me advertising how to make my own audiobook, and then I totally missed it altogether. Can you tell me which ones they are?
So it's only one that I've done so far. It's The Harsh Truths, and that's the first book I wanted a writing award for, and I turned it into an audio book. I hired somebody to do all the reading, and it turned out really cool. Um, but I haven't done any other ones since because it is a little bit expensive, and I haven't really turned on the investment on that. But it was a fun thing to do because it's like book, it really you could really start to see as a play or as a movie.
Again, right?
Yeah.
And how would you, you say here, there's a book here that your first 2015, How to Create a Positive Relationship with Money. So I was told the first million is the hardest, and then after that, it just gets easier. Can you explain why the first million might be the hardest?
Yeah, because you have no point of reference to believe that anything that you're doing is worth more than say what you're making right now. And so to build that positive relationship with money, you first have to start to see how much free money and magic money comes to you. And what I mean by that is if you go to the store and there's things you're gonna buy and they're on sale anyways, you've all of a sudden saved some money. So that's like magic money that's back in your pocket that you didn't have to spend for the same thing that you were gonna buy anyways. And then when you're at a coffee shop or anywhere like that and someone offers to buy you a coffee, that's free money. When you start to see that there's free money just popping around, and so you take that savings and you put it towards something that you want to do, like investing in you start to find that there's a lot more ways that you can create income streams just by getting a better relationship with money, and not making money the main thing is why you're doing something. Because I think a lot of times when you're doing something and the main reason you're doing it is to make money, then you have authenticity. You don't have any your moral code is you're able to push that out the window and just do whatever you want because you, oh, I'm going to make money doing this. So to get a positive relationship with money, it's really to authentic to what you want to do and find a way to be in service of others and value to them, and then they pay money for that exchange in value.
So maybe that exactly is where the difference between thriving and surviving. And, when you lose your morals and things like you were saying, and you start getting corrupted to give people what they want to hear and somehow trick them into making the money, becomes a parasitical, codependent relationships. And I find that amongst the elites and everybody else, right? The 1% versus us, and what has our system been running on economically, that kind of currency. And I'm finding that there's new blood in here with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and Ethereal and other like pirate. There's so many out there, and you got to know which one is from the elites and which one is actually from us, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's a delicate balance before we can actually stabilize ourselves into a thriving momentum and do this and just do it. And as we do it, each step slowly shows itself, And, if it's the bigger the dream, the more steps involved. And they're just like baby steps. It might take longer to succeed. And yes, it is possible to do it on your own. However, it makes such a huge difference to partner up with an elite. Absolutely would it ever, because then everybody shows interest, then everybody wants in. And I noticed that. And so that's a really codependent relationship again. So how do we kind of move out of that and do it independently and then make it on our own so that it happens?
So you really have to have your own definition of success. So if you take money out of the equation of this is my status, so my status and my success is based on how much money I make, and you start to look at all the things that I can do intuitively. Because a lot of everything that I do when I jump into something is because I'm prompted, and I get this feeling that, hey, I should do this. This is going to be a great experience for me. It's going to, bring some benefits to other people, and I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. And I don't make money as so money is like the fruit of the labor. The goal is really how many people can I help, how much impact can I have, and this thing really cool is going to be really fun. So I think that we get hung up a lot on, how many books did you sell, how much money did you make when you did this thing. And it's like, really, it's if you're planting seeds, and then those seeds can grow, like books books will sell without me even marketing them, because I've put them out there and I've already done the marketing. So i, I get royalty checks from books that I'm not even promoting right now, because I've already planted that seed and it started to grow on its own for me. But if I'm really focused on just making money, then I'm going to be stressed, and I'm going to do all types of different things to try make that marketing work. And it just might not be the right time. But if I'm focused on helping people, can help people, I'm going to benefit, because eventually they're going to pay for the extra services. But I can help people for free in different ways, YouTube videos and different posts, um, just to help. And by by doing that, like, I've been able to win awards for books. I've been able to speak on stage multiple times a year, and none of it's based on how much money am I going to make by doing this. It's based on, how much fun am I going to have, how much of an impact am I going to have by doing that. And so I think when you want to work with the elites, you want to partner up, you have to start to say to yourself, okay, what is the reason I'm doing that, and what is my core code? What is it I want to get out of this besides the money, and how much of my authenticity am I willing to sell for money? Because the more that you sell for money, the less authentic you can be, and then you're trapped. You're stuck always being the false version of yourself, or the less authentic version of yourself, because now you have all these commitments contractually that you've made to that you have to fill to make that money.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's a good point. I thought it was all about channeling your passion and investing. I mean, like taking on meaningless jobs, and of course it's going to take longer, and then by the time people catch on, at least I will have left a legacy, even if I pass on, and then who knows, right? But eventually I'm thinking maybe other I can get other people on board to partner up with me. But it's that first, like you're like making that first million. It's like it's not so much the money, but with advertisement and things like that, yes, but that passion that drives me, and I channel it through, and I'm unstoppable. And I never thought about selling your authenticity. Is like almost reminds me of selling your soul kind of thing.
It is, because once you sign that contract, like, a lot of these contracts, they they have in it that they basically, they're buying your name, or they're buying your image, and they own it. Some of the contracts say they own it in perpetually, I think the name is, but they own it forever. So you have to be very careful with what kind of contract you're signing. What are the terms? What are you giving up? Like, if you express your viewpoint at any time, because it goes against the core, you have to know that before you sign that contract. You have to be willing to go by those guidelines, because that's attached to the money. So the money comes with a lot of limitations.
Right. So how about if you do it in a reverse order? And you know those people, if they're willing to engage, it has to come from a place from within the heart and compassion, and they have to have love. They're giving love to this, like, it's our baby, it's our child, and we're co-creating it together. And, we're putting money and investors. And if people thought like that and felt that way, then it would work out in the inverse way rather than the way it's been going. And because this is an enslavement program, I see it as. And I'm just finding it like, when I want something, the universe provides for me. And it's just that I fall into these mind traps, like you're saying, of the ego driven world. And I find myself, oh, now I've descended back down into this again. But it never catches on. I mean, they lose interest very quickly in me. So I don't really have to worry about that. I've seen a lot of scams, like, okay, give me $1,000 for this foundation, and then we will give you €1,000,000. And it's like, okay, but where's all the detail in this? And kind of, you can see it 2 steps ahead of them already, and you're kind of saying, maybe you guys need help in this, right? And I'm like, but yeah, I mean, the way I see it is so much differently the way the universe and the law of attraction works from a law of one creator uh, being. When you move beyond that and you're kind of creating your world like creator, like you are, and using the law of attraction, it works in the other way. Like, everything is given to you, like nature. It's all given to you. It's all about connection. But then we tend to disconnect ourselves and try to control it with our mind instead of going with it with our hearts.
Yeah, and what I found, like with my journey, sometimes I'll connect with people and they'll actually be a distraction, but through that distraction, I pick up something that I needed to learn, or I needed to experience before I can get back to the path that I was on. So it's almost like I call it divine preparation. So here's the thing that I want to do. Here's the experience I want to have. Now I got to go through all of these other things, ups and downs, and all that I go through are little pieces needed to know, pieces of knowledge or a mindset that I wouldn't have got unless I went through this thing and got disappointed. And who are like-minded people really, from who presents to be like-minded to who's actually like-minded. You go through some of these journeys, then you're able to really connect to the path that you're on. So sometimes you need these distractions because there's lessons in those distractions that are going to help you to get to this level of whatever you're trying to manifest. But what happens is a lot of times we start to say to ourselves, "Oh, this is not working. I've tried doing this, and I've been focusing, I've been doing my visualization, and I'm doing journaling, and this is not working." And it's like it is working. It's not working as fast as you. Maybe there's a skill or an experience that you need to have first before that thing's really going to start to click and start to happen for you. So I wrote my first book, the first book in the one chapter series, and it didn't do that well. It didn't do that well with everything, but I didn't quit. I seen that, okay, there's I need to improve on through these reviews, and I wrote the second book. It was better, and as I continued to do that extra, each book I did got better until I won an award. My goal was really to win a writing award for that, but I had to go through that whole journey, all the things I didn't want to go through, bad reviews or people not really understanding what it is I'm doing, and they didn't really jump on board. And at one point, you're just by yourself doing this, and you feel like you're not getting anywhere. But I stayed focused because I understood that there's things I don't know yet. There's people I haven't that I need to meet. There's connection, having experience that I need to have, and it's all part of the same journey, the same vision that I'm on. And sometimes it feels like distractions, and like I said, you think someone's like-minded, but they might have just needed to be in your journey for a moment, just for you to learn something from them, and then they disappear, and that's okay. And I think sometimes we feel like, oh, why did that person leave me? They should have stayed with me. Like, no, they were only in life for a moment for a reason.
Right? And it makes you feel like an ancient one.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Mr. Hamilton's motto is for desire to feel enthusiasm, excitement, and expectation is to know you are walking on the pathway of self-love. Now, expectation, that's amazing, because a lot of the times people say if you expect, then you get disappointed. So can you explain how it actually works in the correct, like, how it actually works without disappointments in the way?
Yeah. So what I always say is, what are you expecting? So the first thing is that you have to the expectation has to be a little bit detailed. Like, so you want to be successful in, say in your business. What does that experience look like? You need to write down the experience, and then you need to write down, what's their reaction when you tell this person that you're excited to tell what this is going to be like. Write down their reaction, and you start to really visualize what it would like, and the kind words that people will say, and the experience that it's going to be like to actually achieve that thing. When you just have an expectation of, oh yeah, a lot of people are going to like what I'm doing, I'm going to get a lot of people buying my product, my service, whatever it is I'm doing, you're relying too much on someone else to do something. But if you start to put your expectations as an experience instead of, just an outcome, but an experience of, I'm going to have a lot of fun doing this thing. I'm going to end up at this event, able to network and do a bunch of stuff. Start to set your expectations as experiences. Then you really start to be able to manifest things, because they're not to other people doing something, to you and how you're going to feel through your journey of doing something. So how are you going to feel when you win an award for a book? How's that experience going to, who you call first? What are you going to talk about? That experience, you can own that, you can have that as an expectation. But if an expectation that's relying on someone else to do something for you, those are very hard, because you can't control other people, you can't control what they do.
Wow, that's well said. What an enlightenment that is. And you don't have to answer this, but what does WT stand for?
Oh, it's Wayne Thomas. So my middle name's Thomas, my first name is Wayne.
Wow, okay. And so you also have this other book, Incurable, The Answer to Overcoming Any Illness with the Power of Yes, and to give ourselves permission. Um, do you want to expand further on this?
So the bulk of that book was written from my mom. So she had rheumatoid arthritis, and at one point it was diagnosed that she was going to end up in a wheelchair and not be able to use her hands any. So she used law of attraction and mindset to really, to overcome it, and eventually she was able to get off any medications for it, and she's fine now. So the the part that I wrote was really about the mindset of focusing on what you want, what the outcome is you want, instead of, a lot of people focus on what could happen. You know, oh, I'm sick, I have this happen and that could happen. Is they know you want to have happen. You know, kind of, again, experience do you want to have? There's a 50-50 chance. Look at the 50 chance that's the good, the greatest of outcomes, and start focusing on that, and don't even think about anything else but the outcomes that you want. Because the more that you focus on what you want, the more that it might not be at the exact degree that you wanted at, but you're going to get more of the things that you want if you focus on the things that you want. So focus on the greatest of outcomes in any situation that you're in, and you're going to come out on top. And you might not, you might be a little bit on top, or you might be high on top, but you're always going to come out on top. You're only allowing yourself to really focus on those solutions that are going to get you where you want to go. But if you start focusing on the other 50%, then what's going to happen in your life? You're going to start to have more of those experiences, because you're focusing on those, and so your decision making is going to lead you to the things that you don't want to have happen.
Right? It's about clearing your emotions and all the things, the traumas, so that we're able to feel a different kind of frequency to get there, isn't it?
Yeah. And so I tell people that it's really hard for someone to believe in the greatest of outcomes for yourself. So pick something small first and just have a bit of that experience of what it would be like to. That's why I say like the magic money. If you want to have more money and you go to the store and you see, okay, I was going to buy some steaks and these steaks are on sale right now, and you buy those same steaks you would have spent say $30 and you only spent $20. Now you're just having a little bit of extra money in your pocket, and we used to find different ways to experience a little bit of that thing that you want to have. You start to believe in it more, and then you can start seeing the bigger and better outcomes by doing the baby steps. Just jump into it 5 levels from where you are and think, oh yeah, now I'm going to be living in this frequency way up here. But you can build up to that pretty quickly if you start to have little experiences that reinforce your belief.
It's funny because people say the symptom is called manic depression.
Yeah. It's
And
true.
so you also have escape your comfort zone with strategy, and you have a website to come join. Um, your TV community of Q expertise and explore a multiple social platform, including free events on your success blog.
Yep.
Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I joined this. It's expertise TV, and so I have a channel on there, and you basically what I do is I have success blogs where I give free tips and insight on the blogs, and then you can sign up for to be a member in that community, and then that gets you access to some free webinars, some paid webinars, different insight. But it's all about leaving your comfort zone. And one of my mentors told me you got to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because once you learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, now a lot of those limitations that you have, they become limitless, because you're not worried about what other people are going to think if you try to do something and you fumble, or you try to do something and it doesn't work out. So once you can let go of other people's expectations of yourself, then you're able to really start to get out of your comfort zone and start listening to your intuition, because you're going to get prompts that, hey, this is a great idea, you should do this, and that just comes from somewhere that's not outside of you, it's inside of you somewhere, that all of a sudden this idea pops in your head. Hey, this would be a great experience for you, this would be something cool to do. And then what first thing you say is, oh, that's pretty scary. If I do that and I screw up, what if I do that and I fail? But you let go of that feeling of what if I do this and I fail, and instead say, what if I do that and it's awesome? What if I do that and it's so much fun? You start to tap into that. That will really fuel you to get out of your comfort zone, because all the things that are bigger and better for you than what you're doing right now are outside of your comfort zone. But saying, you got to get out of your comfort zone, that's something cool to put on Instagram, but to actually do it, it's the same thing. You got to experience a little bit of getting out of your comfort zone, having some success in it, and then build your belief to say, okay, yeah, I can go a little out of my comfort zone. I can test things a little bigger, and it's really all about that. And the more positive feedback you get from that, which I always say, gauge it by experience, the experiences that you have, because that's the easiest thing to measure, and it's the thing that's going to fuel you the most. Because sometimes somebody might not say anything to you that's positive or encouraging, but you see the smiles on people's faces from the things that you're doing, and the support that you get in different ways, and that will fuel you and say, oh yeah, okay, I'm onto something. I should keep doing this because it's helping people, and you get to the point where people are looking for you to do that, because you become the voice for some people, and they see you doing it, and that inspires them to be able to do it as well. So it's really to get out of your comfort zone, because where all your growth and success is going to come, and your best manifestations are going to come from getting outside of your comfort zone.
It's the impulse and backing up that impulse with a drive of passion, and
Yeah.
just going and stopping that trying to make sense of it, and why you can't make a business plan out of it and convince others for the money. to drive it, when that's the reverse way of actually doing it. And because it's so much easier when you have a team, because they say teamwork makes the dream work, but it's not always like that when you're first starting out, not for everybody. And like you're saying, these expectations that others have on you, it kills the magic.
Yeah, it does. It does, because people won't be able to see your vision at first. So they're going to hear what you're saying, and they're going to have their own vision of what it's going to be like. And a lot of times, their vision is a lot of fear and a lot of struggle, but they can't see the vision because it's your vision. So until you start to really roll it out, even if you're on a team, like it's hard to get your team to all work on that same vision unless you have a really crystal clear vision of what you're trying to do, and then you can get them to understand it and internalize it and become a part of that your vision. So now you have
Integration and trust.
exactly, and that's hard. That's where people struggle when working on a team, because the other person might come in and say, no, no, we should do this because if you try that, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. But if it's your vision and you're really sure that you should do that, then you have to be able to sell it to them, get them on board, and get them to really believe in what you're trying to do. And the way you do that is by getting some experience where it's, and then you can start adding people to your. But if you try to add people to your team at the beginning of your idea, it's really hard because you're to fracture into all kinds of different things. And by the time you get to where you're wanting to go, you've built something completely different than what was in your vision.
And folks, never dismiss your impulses, because that's what takes you into another reality, that reality that we call dreams. Like that lucid state of in between the solid formation before it actually happens. It strengthens our faith. And, it's very encouraging to keep that kind of that vision and empower it with passion, and don't resist it, and don't throw conflicts in the way because of the old mind beliefs. This is what we need to clear. So I also noticed that you learn more about the paid ad strategy book. If you want to learn more about that, I will post your number if you'd like. And you're also on Instagram, and for behind the scenes info and insight on this TV the community that you have. And you can also follow W.T. Hamilton on Twitter, and he's I think it's twitter.com book chapters. You can find his newest book, The Unfair Advantage, for free. Find out how you can use this unfair advantage to create more success in your life now. Or better yet, purchase his video workshop. And for more information, it will all be listed, on the radio talk show, or on, I don't know if you're going to be posting this on your YouTube channel. So I will give you all the information to add to it. And, you're a wealth of information, and I'd really like to do this again. And, as we keep growing and, expanding and exploring more of this thing called the law of attraction as creator beings in the reality of the oneness that connects to all of us. And yeah, you're just amazing. Yes. Anything else you would like to add to close this up?
I just want to thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed the conversation. You were awesome, and I love what you love the energy, and just sticking to your vision and doing it, because it's going to become something big.
Thank you so very much. That is very supportive, and for your encouragement. And I look forward to seeing more of you. And folks, whatever it is you need, go and find him, and become a Facebook friend or seek him out. He's a wealth of information, and he can be very helpful to guide you into a world of success.
Thank you. And